Jeff?
Mr. Superintendent, thank you for proposed changes to the reg on producer disclosure, listening to the producer community, and being very approachable by the producer community. You're trending in the right direction. Maybe a little more work would be warranted, but thank you for taking into consideration the comments. And the Coastal Task Force, of which I'm proposed to be a member, previously served, it can't happen soon enough because we're worried about next year, next season. So push those legislative leaders, please.
Will do, and we'll keep you posted.
Thank you for speaking to us. As a former member of that same, I have two questions, two different topics. As a former member of that same temporary panel that was set up in '92, there were a few of us around who actually have history to remember, and as far as your comment that the carriers were not aware of the potential problems that came about as Katrina and others, it's incorrect. Hurricane Andrew changed everything, and the department allowed for the changing of a replacement cost endorsement from full replacement cost without a cap down to 25%.
Are you telling me that it might have misled me a little?
Yes, absolutely. That's why you need history for those people that were on it. But it was very important. There were lots of discussions at the time, and that was why the department allowed the carriers to provide only no more than 25%, because they saw what was happening, number one, as Hurricane Andrew, and number two, they allowed the carriers to increase coverage based on zip codes or whatever else, inflation.
They're not trying to increase coverage now. It's more a limitation of exposure.
Yeah, but that was what that 25% did, just for that reason. Now, my question regarding, you indicated that you were very interested in terms of consumer making New York State very important in the insurance community. It seems to me that the fact that all producers, whether they're independent agent, captive agent, or direct writer, are not being treated the same way in terms of disclosure. And if we have rules, it should apply for all licensed producers. And that way, at least, you have a fair shot of getting, the consumer has a fair shot of getting all the answers, whether it's a commission, whether it's an incentive, or anything else, from direct writers, agents, or whatever. And that might, and I'm not saying that, it just might help New York State if they're doing it for everyone equally, and everyone is on the same footing.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Superintendent, we appreciate the changes that you mentioned about the disclosure regulation, but we've already set a standard in the industry, and the department set a standard for the flood disclosure. Why is the department so opposed to having, where some companies already voluntarily put these disclosures out to all policyholders, which would leave the policing of the regulation become non-existent? Why is the department still opposed to the disclosure notice coming out with the deck page on policy?
Well, we've heard so many different proposals on how best to handle this, and after hearing all of those, we feel that this is the fairest. This can be done orally or in writing, and in writing it just has to be stated a description of your role in the sale, that your compensation can be affected by the, as a result of the sale, that it could also be affected by volume or profit, if that's the case. And if you want any further information, you can ask for it. I don't know that we could do anything less than that. And it was the intent of everyone to just have a standard that was to be universally applied, so that it wouldn't be for one line or one area. And I believe this makes it as user-friendly from the agent broker point of view, while at the same time providing the consumer with the disclosure that they would need, and that they're, in all honesty, entitled to.
If that being the case, if it came out of the deck with all those parameters in there as a generic disclosure, it came out with every policy, that would satisfy the consumer and would put the onus on the producer.
Well, with implementation, we're going to try to make it as easy as possible so you can comply. But again, I don't... Thanks, Jeff. But I don't know that certain other sectors would go along with that. You know, P&C maybe, but other areas, I think they'd have some problems with that. That's, again, why I think this is, let them know what their rights are, and, you know, if they want any further information, all they have to do is ask. I think that's the fairest way across the board.
Superintendent, I have a question over here.
Superintendent, thank you for giving us the 10,000-foot view. I want to ask you about one topic I didn't hear in there. Your background includes time with the New York State Insurance Fund.
They do God's work.
They do God's work. They certainly provide a valuable service, and they act as a competitor to the private sector. Would you consider bringing them into the jurisdiction of the State Insurance Department and making them subject to the same rules and regulations as other competitors that they have?
Well, their mandate is to provide a stable, secure workers' comp market. And they have done that, you know, since 1914. They are also, and I don't like to say this, but they're the residual market, so they can't terminate anyone. So when the private carriers and the other carriers decide not to insure anyone for whatever reason, they're the ones who are, you know, left insuring them. And their rates are competitive with everyone. With respect to fraud investigations, they are really the leader in the industry in fraud investigations, because it doesn't pay for most of the other carriers to do it because they can just, you know, decide not to renew. So for a lot of reasons, and they have had a stable percentage of the market for many, many years. So it's not like they're out there trying to put companies out of business. They are out there just trying to provide a stable, secure workers' comp market. And they've done that. If you didn't have them there, you'd have volatility, in my opinion. And you'd have people that couldn't get coverage. So I think for all those reasons, it is working. I understand, you know, many of you place coverage with them and there's no commission. And that's an issue that they look at every single year. And on the one hand, I see you're doing work and you're not getting paid for it. On the other hand, you know, if they pay the commission, that's going to require a higher premium, so they may not be able to accomplish their mission. California did change the rule to permit a commission, and it didn't result in any real change. We're looking at everything all the time. I will always listen, but I think right now, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing. And it is accomplishing its mission at the present time.
Well, I would ask you then to at least look at the cancellation provisions, because the fund makes it difficult, if not sometimes impossible, to take a client out of the fund and put it in the private market.
Okay.
One last question. I think Superintendent Wrynn has to leave at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, President, for coming. Just to follow up on Marty's question, why don't the people who sell workers' comp have to be licensed? We get a lot of problems from people who know how to sell them, and it affected us.
Again, it's you know, the residual market. They have to go somewhere, so the rules have to be modified a little. And I wasn't around when the rules were enacted, but they have worked. But I'm open. If I saw a situation where, you know, people were being harmed or there was, you know, a real unfair competitive advantage, then that would be something we would definitely look at.